that smoke going in my lungs, in your lungs, that's live.
That's live, baby.
That's live.
Welcome to UCC Part 2 for Wes. We left off talking about kind of what helped you and what made you advocate for cannabis, and it was touching base with some of like the military and the veteran advocacy that you would hope to see in the next little while. And it's an interesting thing when you start breaking into where society has always viewed cannabis and where the way that the veterans, people that have fought for society to be this way, interpret cannabis. And like a lot of veterans have been able to benefit from cannabis, and having the access to it now and being part of Utah's medical market, it's an honor to be able to have an influence on this kind of stuff.
No, it is, and it's one of those, like, we're always like patient advocate, you know, especially for the veteran side, and it's good to be in a state that it is legal in some form, you know, because that's not the case elsewhere. So I am glad that it is medical here and that can be an outlet, but the goal is always to have help with it, you know?
Right.
And so
a
lot of advocacy is needed.
So being in like Utah, like in Utah Cannabis Club, we would hope to find like more veterans, anybody that is tuning into this, like reaching out and like creating a community base for veterans in this space to allow them to have people that they can talk to and nerd out about cannabis, talk about different strains for different medical applications. It's really cool to be, hopefully, a pioneer in some of that culture aspects. And I know Seb has a lot of amazing culture aspects that he could bring to the table just by the inclusiveness of this man.
100%, man.
That's the thing, you know, cannabis is what brings the cultures together.
Yeah.
So you're always needing to bring light to like your scenario, other people's scenarios, hear others out in their situations, and that's what creates bigger advocacy, you know, is it's the understanding of why other people feel the way they do in a sense, and why they're pushing for it, you know. Because I'd say overall it's always the common goal is to get easier access, you know, better options.
Hell
As
yeah.
a patient, that's what you want, you know.
Easier access, right?
And then obviously, like, being in a state that it's only medicinal, like, we have to chase, like, quality should be the top priority, you know.
Right. Are there any genetics that you would like to see in Utah?
Oh, I mean, you already know it's anything Afghani, but, you know, the standard's high there.
Any specific cuts or anything like that?
Standard's high there. I don't know if there's a certain cut, but I'd say anything that's like Afghani.
So like your
some
blueberry,
straight,
your
like
mango.
some straight up Afghani Kush, like.
Okay.
That would be the goal.
Mango app gooey.
Well, like I said, you know, that standard's high. So
Yeah, dude, I bet, dude. You got it from the motherland.
Got it
Mango
from the source.
gooey?
yeah, so
Mango
that'd be
app gooey,
phenomenal.
dude.
You ever heard of that?
Oh, no, that'd be
It's
amazing.
crazy.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude. Super,
You have it,
super
let us know.
crazy. Yeah, if you had it, let us know.
Yeah, but that shit better be smoking.
Smoking.
Yeah, dude.
That shit better be
Cheap in
putting
the
me
right
through
way.
the couch.
And I don't even have a couch.
Put me through the couch that I don't have.
This Mac be putting me into a nice little couch, dude. I'm feeling good.
That's Mac?
Yeah.
So is this?
Yeah.
So is this?
That's Mac too?
Yeah.
We're vaporizing Mac right now. Great little sesh with the fellow patients of Utah, man.
The fellow patients getting the session.
Okay.
Double macking it up. Pass one.
Appreciate it, my boy.
We'll take the double back. One breath, you
Tasty.
know.
So
Yeah.
I had a question. I don't know if we're moving on. Yeah, I had a question. What's it like being in like a religious community, but also being a patient, and how does that like affect your mood about both the plant and also like the religion?
So me and my wife, we've been going to church for probably a couple of years, and it's been like on and off.
Mm-hmm.
But we go to, it's called Center Point in in Orem, and it's a non-denominational Christian-esque religion.
Okay,
That's
for
what they
people
kind
that
of
like
teach.
non-dominational, for people that don't know what that is, like what does that mean?
So non-denominational is a form of so you teach like the basics of Christianity and not anything else. So
Gotcha.
anything that's like the Mormon Church or
Any of the subs.
Kind of
yeah,
in,
any
like,
of the
non-denom.
subs, it's like small little deviations, but a non-denominational church is like Jesus died for us. Repent, live a good life. Like that's
Okay.
kind of it. There's not any small like people, and like it's easier to see Roman Catholic side where there is like a pope, like there is a figure, you know.
Uh-huh.
That's like the person that holds their keys that's been passed down for
Right.
however
Yeah,
long.
non-denominations.
And
Like,
so
doesn't necessarily-
non-denominational. It just teaches Christianity.
Gotcha.
I absolutely love that place, and it's one of those like I'm at a place with my spirituality and like going to church that it's one of those like God put the plant
Mm-hmm.
on the earth for a reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For a purpose, in a sense. Like there's always a plan, right? And so in that sense, it gives me even like more relief and like
Right.
ease of mind because it's something that like is put here,
Mm-hmm.
and so
As
I feel a lot
far
better with it.
I feel that. As far as like with the community, do you find other people that would like want to speak out maybe about their cannabis use but are afraid of what other people might think in
Oh,
the church?
yeah, 100%. Utah, especially Utah's a place where you try to like hide that you're smoking. You're not
Bless you.
You're not out there smoking a joint on the streets and
Mm-hmm.
hitting like if you're hitting a cart or a pod, like it's even in a concealment, like in your car. You know, it's like
Yeah.
it's not something that people kind of express here. So yeah, I'd say that's the more common narrative, to be honest.
Just super taboo.
Is yeah.
So
And it kind of like a guilt, kind of like almost like them feeling guilty for even like trying. So it's like just hide it. Like I don't want people to think about it.
If you had a magic wand and you could like fix that in a way, how could you do it?
And that's a complex
Yo, if I
question.
could freaking do it, it'd be smoking with. Like, I got a pod. You know,
Yeah.
ask them what like maybe their relationship with the plant is. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I mean that's like the biggest thing is to just be more normal and like that's what will help other people be normal. You know.
And that's the thing is like introducing it to them and being able to educate them in how to consume. Like, so this was like a topic that I recently had with my mom. The patient advocacy for consumption knowledge, like how to consume specific strains. Like if you're gonna buy a sativa, have an agenda, you know what I mean? Have like, hey, when I consume this plant, I'm gonna use it to activate my motivation to get my house cleaned. It's gonna allow me to meditate and like starting to utilize cannabis for its specific medicinal properties. And like you're a great person to help advocate for that, where you know so much about cannabis. But I think that's a really important topic that doesn't really get talked about. Like people say that they don't feel comfortable doing cannabis or consuming sativa or indicas, and like here for like medical application and like consumer information, you know?
No, that's definitely true. Especially with like some of the state regulations here, like not being able to put flame to flowers, like huge, you know?
Yeah.
It makes it that much more nerve-wracking to light up a joint on the street, you know?
Oh,
Because like even if you had your medical card, like what you would be doing is illegal
yeah.
from a standpoint, and
That's
so
very true.
100.
it makes it that much harder. But like those are the boundaries you kind of gotta like push, and you do that together. I feel like, you know,
For sure.
that's like the easiest way to kind of overcome it. You know, is seeing somebody else do it normally and not really thinking much of it. And I know like for the majority of us, it's the people here.
And it's
See,
calling those people out that try to make you feel a certain way when you are doing that. Like, oh, you're smoking cannabis? You know what I mean? Like, and they, you know, try to make you seem like the bad guy.
Well, it's
You gotta point out the facts and not, you know, like,
Right.
put your tail between your legs at that,
100.
you know what I mean? Be like, oh, yes, sir.
So it's
like,
like
you're
you tell.
right, you're right.
Right.
Like, no. Like, you know, he's not right. You know what I mean?
well. Let's go in a little deeper, right? When you went into religion, I'll go in another direction. You being an athlete, right? We're starting to notice athletes, right, consuming cannabis, right, but also getting in trouble for it, right? Finding relief in it, right? It's like, how can we start to? And like Wes is heavy in the volleyball. For those of you that don't know, man. You want to test this man in a match? Come and find out.
Yeah, come check.
Come and find out.
I'm
man.
not good at
We'll find you on the
volleyball,
court.
but I'll play with this
You know,
guy and we'll
Find me on
still
the
win.
court, dude.
And I'm sure he can touch on, you know, like teammates consuming and whatnot, or you know, kind of being an athlete, being a dancer. You know, a lot of my buddies and I, we use cannabis for relief and creativity. It helps us, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm sure for Wes, you know, he can
No, 100%.
touch on that. You know, it's like
Do you find it in the athletic community to be like
for sure
pretty open? You're like, oh, it's
conversations might be tough, I'm sure, here and there, but
For the majority, yes. Yeah, I played volleyball, like club volleyball, for two different schools.
okay.
One of them, it was like me and only like two of the, so it was like three of us smoked or even like drank, and there was like 25 on the team. So it was a little less then, but when I played for UVU here, it was a lot more open. Like we would definitely be smoking, especially now when I go play with the same people I did. It's awesome. Like we seriously like play a set, go outside, smoke, hit the pod, hit a vape, go back in, and I mean it's a testament. You see like the highest level athletes doing it. Like,
yeah,
biggest one come to mind is Kevin Durant. Like straight up in the interview, like yeah, dude, like
right.
I'm high. Like what's up?
You got like
That's-
NBA
you know what I
opening
mean?
it up, Sharif.
So-
right, the Olympic run.
So that like you're talking about using even while you're playing.
Yeah, I use it when I dance. I'll be open with you.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
You
Dance,
You know?
I feel like it makes you more feel with the rhythm, and I can
The
understand
rhythm.
that with like
That's why
I can
they make
understand it
illegal in
with
sports.
dance because you get so synced up
Yeah.
more. You know, you could feel the music more. Sorry, go ahead. And you could do that with sports too. You know what I mean?
Imagine
And
a
especially in a
sativa.
team, you get more synced up because your walls are more open with.
Could you imagine seeing athletes jacked up on like sativas in Olympics? Fucking racing, dunking.
That's
like
a
mad
performance
monkeys.
enhancing
You
drug.
said freaking Usain Bolt
They'd be
joint
like-
in his mouth.
Dude, records I've ever heard of. Unheard of.
That Bolt OG.
So, you hear that? Usain sponsors. We'll get a stream for you. Just kidding.
Oh, we got some readers on hand.
Yeah. Wow, that was big.
But yeah, athlete and the use of cannabis is huge.
Hell yeah.
And I'd say even
I'd
more,
be ashamed if you
even
did.
more so with like the more understanding that we're getting of the plant and like the knowledge that is getting passed down.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for athletes, like you're talking about people regulating like diets, workout programs, practice programs, like
yeah.
health. Like
Lifestyle, you know.
I mean, if they felt like cannabis was a good outlet and it helped them in most of those categories, like they'd easily have way. I'm guessing they'd have a way to have access to like what they
Right,
want,
and like
you know?
maybe smoking isn't the healthiest, but it, you know, they still be
Yeah.
doing it. Look at Michael Phelps.
Exactly.
And I'd say like
Medals on medals on medals, and there's a picture of him hitting a bong.
yeah.
to the lungs.
But for athletes, I will say there is the accountability side, right? Like, if you're out there hella stoned, like, maybe not playing the best, like,
Right.
that's you
Know
not being
yourself.
out there for your team, you know?
Exactly, and I've noticed
So
that
there
with
are boundaries,
myself, you
for
know,
sure.
like,
So,
even with, you know, like poker, you know, like if I could be too high at a certain point, you know, but I like a buzz
Yeah.
with when I'm playing poker. I feel like I can read people more.
Yeah.
When
See-
when I look at their faces, I'm like, this motherfucker full of shit.
See, and that's why I think cannabis is so versatile in the application standpoint. Like, you could be, like, recovering from chemotherapy and it help you.
Yeah.
Or you could be just trying to tap into yourself a little bit more. You
Right.
know what I mean? And be a little bit more in tune with yourself. And it has
crazy.
that duality of, like, being medically inclined to, like, neuropathy, for example, neurological damage.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy that it can touch that and it can touch everything else.
Right.
yeah, that's why the plant brings us
Nice,
together. It's
dude.
for, like, all scenarios, it feels like, you know?
Dude, and it gets people from all scenarios of life and brings them together. And even if you guys have nothing in common and you guys both like cannabis, you guys will sit there and talk for hours. You guys will
For
become
sure.
friends.
Yeah.
You
And that's just like local people. I mean, social media side, like, it's countries, it's worldwide, you know?
Yeah, hell
Like,
yeah.
people all around the world hitting you up, hitting other people up. Like,
Yeah.
Just
it's a
talking,
whole ass
man.
community
Yeah,
everywhere.
hell yeah.
it really is something that brings everyone together.
Dude, it's crazy. It's an honor to be able to experience it in today's time. I know the time's fucking crazy, you know,
Yeah.
feel wild, but I'm honored to be a part of a time that we get to be an influencer on this movement, you know, and have a say in how the cannabis market is. And that's like the biggest thing that we're at UCC, I feel like, advocates for. Like, add on anything if you guys want, but it's mainly just to bring that culture of connection and love and compassion to the plant and to the patients and to the consumers of it, and really just honing in and creating what we feel is an inclusive environment for people to enjoy and to live life comfortably a little bit more.
Yeah.
100%, dude. That's a fucking great soundbite right there. I'm like,
100% real shit.
That is
Amen.
real shit.
On the dot. So, what are a couple of things you would say, Wes, people can do to keep the plant, I guess, I don't want to say sacred or keep it in good hands, but what can we do as a local community, you know? to kind of keep it
You
alive?
gotta advocate for home growth.
Cool.
Ooh.
Hear that?
We are in a
Hear it?
medical.
Ooh.
We are in a medical state. You know,
Yeah.
that's like
Yeah,
one of the
there you
first
go.
steps. We have a legal form, but
Uh-huh.
it does have flaws, and one of them is not being able to have a home grow, and so that's huge. So
Yeah.
you start growing your own medicine, like
You can go growing tomatoes, right?
it's
Yeah.
Game changer.
Yeah.
yeah, and then,
Tastes way
Should
better.
even be a game changer. Should have been part of it a long time ago.
Yeah.
no, and that's a huge part of it is
Yeah.
bringing light to the areas that like would really change and
Advocacy.
help the majority. You know what I mean, of people that have cards or are patients,
Mm-hmm.
and so
It's hard. It's expensive.
Yeah.
It's hard to get. It's expensive to get a card. It's not necessarily hard because they do offer quite a bit of QMPs and there is that support system there. But it's expensive. Not everybody has money like that where you can buy a full seed pack.
And then also buy like a vaporizer.
Yeah, like you can buy a seed pack or a vaporizer. One's gonna produce maybe like a half ounce, or not a half ounce, sorry, a half pound. Like for a home grow, it's pretty atypical, like a half pound per plant if you had a
Okay.
really healthy plant. Well, not a really healthy plant, but like atypically.
Depending on the.
That's what I see
No,
most of the time is about like a half pound from a plant.
I would be
Um,
happy as hell with
So would you
half
say,
pound.
like-
Yeah, dude, would be stoked. Would be stoked.
Would you say for like people trying to advocate for home grow would be like look up who's like proposing home grow, like go to your legislative floor, like kind of like with that, like
Yeah, and that's a side that like honestly I don't really know. Like,
Yeah.
I haven't even dove into, you know.
Do you want to?
And so, I mean that'd be cool. It'd be cool.
You'd be
I
For
don't
those of
I
you
don't
that
know
don't
how
know,
much
I
time
mean,
and
it
effort
was
that would be,
it was
but, you
included
know,
on the
it's,
original bill on our Cannabis
Yeah.
Medical Act, but it was scratched right before you had to live about 500 miles away. And having your home grow, like Wes said, man, growing your own medicine.
Like I said, it's
Gabe
the
said,
start of it,
healthy
you know.
plant, you know. So
And so-
advocating.
We're bringing a problem to light. So I bet somebody out there is a lawyer. They could
100.
real
And if
quick
you
on
know
the
the
keyboard,
cannabis does right, come on.
do the right thing.
Yeah,
I
do the
don't
right
tell
thing.
stuff over my head, but
You
know.
alcohol lobbyists, come on, man.
Yeah.
Do the right thing. Jump ship.
Yeah, do the right thing. One thing.
You guys are missing out on money.
Yeah.
For real.
Taxes. Tax that shit.
Well, not even taxes. That's the thing. That's what's sad is about like the economy and the way that the United States functions. Everything has to be off of tax. And like
Big
cannabis,
taxes on cannabis.
cannabis should be taxed like tomatoes and alcohol.
On the gas that you're taxed, they fill
On the
your car.
gas that you're taxed to
On
fill
the
your
gas,
car.
on the car payment you make a month.
Everything like it shouldn't have like if you're going to tax it, if you're going to try to have like a construct to allow companies to be able to establish themselves and create any kind of foundation for the little guy, you
Mhm.
have to have some kind of leniency on where that tax break is, because 44%, holy
Yeah,
shit,
it's crazy, yeah.
that's nuts.
Literally.
It's almost half. It's almost half.
Might as we won't take it all. We're just paying what you guys are trying to do.
Yeah, dude.
But you can't have it all.
Hey, watch what you
So
say,
that's
man.
why. So that's why you do the home grow.
Exactly, man.
Ain't no tax.
Huge, and that's hey, West advocates for it. We advocate for the same thing, man. 100%.
You know, avoid the tax. Grow your
Mm-hmm.
own.
See, and that's one thing that I
Support
love.
your local seed banks. Support the local
Yeah.
grow stores. You know, been hearing news
Start
about them
asking
going
your
out.
friends that you
Yeah.
know that you might smoke with and everything if they got clones or some seeds.
Well, and it's just
or-
so much better for the plant, you know what I mean?
Right.
It would make it evolve
You're
so much
supporting the
quicker
community, the
because
local
it's not only
community.
these many people are growing in
Yeah.
one area, it's everybody's experimenting with all sorts of different stuff.
Right.
And so you're getting who knows what.
100.
But on like that same coin, that's what scares them. You know, they also have like the contingency of like overpopulation of cannabis and there being too much for it to be regulated. You know, so like that's one thing that they are worried about, and that's a real point. And on that same coin, like that's where it comes into like knowledge. If you're going to have cannabis, there has to be like centers for people.
Right.
Like if you're gonna buy seeds in Utah, you should be able to sit down with somebody, talk about like the best way to keep your cannabis in a secure place. You know, that should be a huge thing, you know. But,
Safety.
like, yeah, safety, you know, and like making sure that you're taking the proper steps, like, and that being something that like if they do want to have rules and regulations around home grows, like allowing that to be something a state representative can come look, say, okay, he's got it behind a locked door, you know what I mean? And like that would be like one of the main thing is that it's behind a locked door that and you're not taking energy from your neighbor. You know what I mean? Like that should be their main concern, is that it's in a safe area and you're not siphoning anything from something that you shouldn't be, you know. That should be where the line's drawn, you know. Humans have the ability to go buy a fucking 12 bottles of whiskey, 5 bottles of vodka, whatever you fucking want, you know what I mean? Doesn't matter. And how many people die a year from it?
I don't know, a lot.
A lot. How many people reportedly have died from cannabis?
Big old zero.
Yeah. So, like,
Goosey.
yeah, exactly. People have used this medicine for therapy for thousands of years. Then the last 100, we had a president that decided that to to turn it on racism and say that like blacks and Mexicans
It's a big
used
part of
it
it,
to
dude.
like rape and persuade their daughters and like used it for criminal activity, and that's like what the narrative changed for cannabis, and we're still it didn't last long, thank God. We're smarter than that. We have the ability to,
And that's how the power of hemp, dude. They were scared.
Yeah.
Oh shit! All my paper company and all that shit. Like,
yeah. So like, there's a lot of
money
different
and
things that went into
racism.
them. And now people are really starting to wake up to the fact that cannabis is a blessing. It's nothing more than a blessing to us.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Wes, what was your craziest high?
Shit, my craziest high.
Yeah.
Craziest high.
That's
That's
your
a good
craziest
question.
high.
Craziest high.
What was your most intense high? What did you feel
What a question. What a question.
A lot of people are like, I get anxiety.
the one that probably hit real hard is I would have been like in Afghanistan. It was on like
Oof.
my way back home.
International. We're talking
And-
international now. Uh-oh.
We were at
Oh shit.
Bagram, which is like that was the biggest base that we had over there.
Damn.
Yeah.
And so it was crazy, like
Damn.
24-hour
Just
chow hall, like tons of people there, like different militaries, different countries, like
Wow.
Oh,
Starbucks,
shit, it's a hub.
and,
Yeah.
like,
Lit.
barber shops,
Wow.
to get haircuts
Lit.
and shit. Insane.
Hell yeah.
But so we went back there, and a homie had like just before we left picked stuff from the fields,
Ooh.
in his pocket. So we get back there and we had access to like tobacco, and so we were actually able to get like I don't know what they were, but it pretty much like Swishers.
Got you.
So we smoked a blunt of, it was still pretty like wet.
Damn.
With some wet flour. But it's just like
it was all flour.
yeah, all flour. It was broken up by like hand,
Damn.
and
Some Afghans.
So when you say wet, do you mean like
Uncured.
just like picked off the plant, uncured,
Harvested.
nothing?
yeah. So when you did come across the opportunity, you would just pretty much shovel it into your pockets,
Shovel.
I
You
want
know,
to
you'd
try
just be
it,
ripping
dude.
the plant off and putting some nugs in your pocket, and then later it's like you're kind of maybe peeling off some of the leaves, some of like the fan leaves, pulling off some of like doing your own little like trim job,
That means
and then like you don't have grinders, you don't got shit, so then you're breaking it up by hand.
Uh-huh.
Damn,
Yeah,
bro.
that shit, and so the bud super sticky, like
damn.
crazy sticky.
Sun-grown turps.
Tack was through the roof. Looking back, but the bud was like definitely like wet. It was some moist because it was just
Uncured.
super fresh, uncured. Who knows how far into the flower stage it was, if it was actually ready or not. Like,
Do
you
you
just
feel
took
like-
you just took what you got and then you just ran with it.
You
Right
didn't
before
feel
it's,
like
like,
there was
flushed or something?
enough variety for you to see developed and underdeveloped?
No, like you could tell in the fields, but
Did you just not have that keen, like, yeah, I need to grab the
Just-
biggest?
At the time, were you guys just excited to have
just-
something to
just
smoke?
nobody like really knew, like nobody was in the culture or knew like very far or in-depth things of what to do with it. Like
Right.
nobody was
Mm.
that we smoked with. Like the smoking crew was small,
Were you guys just excited
super
to smoke?
small. Yeah,
yeah,
that was
it was,
the
like,
biggest
explosive.
excitement was the smoke. And
Yeah,
so,
I'd be excited.
Adrenaline.
yeah,
Afghanistan.
we finally,
Yeah,
we finally
fucking
freaking we
juice.
get back to the biggest base. We get this blunt wrap.
Nice.
We freaking wrap up this flower, and then we go and we just
Do you
like
remember what it smelled like?
it.
Not really.
The smell would be hard to pick out.
I see you. Do you remember any
Um,
key smells? Sorry to tell you.
No. No, not to the extent that I know now. At the time, it was just like
This
smells were either like loud or like you didn't smell anything. Like that was just kind of it. It wasn't like a profile that you're smelling or what it could relate to and stuff like that. There was none of that.
I see you.
But You really fucked up the story.
You get back to the base.
You
and,
really,
Hey,
I don't know where I
hey,
fucking was.
hey,
You
I'm
look-
sorry.
you guys
I'd
are
be asking you
crazy,
questions.
bro. Oh, fucking
Hey,
throat
look,
chop.
you
You
have
just
your
got back,
turn.
you just
We'll
got
have
back
your-
to the base.
Damn,
You got back
I
to
think
the
I said
base.
that 7 times, bro.
You will have your turn.
I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I'm sorry. You got back to the base.
I got it. I got it.
Oh my god.
I got him.
Cannabis may affect
Okay.
memory.
Yeah,
No, because we were
temporarily.
talking about.
we
you guys took the
we
blunt
stoned.
wrap.
We
You guys
stoned.
took the blunt wrap back.
Yeah.
After you guys like rolled it.
Yeah, so we're at the biggest base. We finally got the wrap. We went. It was me and 2 of the other homies.
Wait, what year was this?
2014.
Damn.
2014. We're out there. We go. We go out there. We smoke, and it definitely hit. It hits hard. Like instant.
Head-
Super stoned. Like I remember. Like we definitely took out eye drops.
Damn.
For sure.
That good?
And
You guys are red.
in case, and it was a good thing we did. But yeah, like that stuff was strong,
Shit.
super strong.
Racy? Heart panicky?
Oh, for sure, for sure. It was smoking it, and then like by the end of it, it was like telling yourself how to breathe,
Whoa.
like trying to snap back to reality.
You know who you are.
And the hardest thing was like, so we're at this big ass base now. It's not like we're just out there, no one around. Like everyone's around, and so like definitely the most stoned I ever got over there. And it's like going back. It's going back into a room, and there's like freaking 20. It's like 20 dudes to a room
Damn.
in like bunk beds and shit. You know, for just like
Oh,
the time
damn.
being. And so it's like you going back, fucking so stoned, feel like so much anxiety, heart pounding, racing.
Sheesh.
And it's like the boys asking you, was like, hey, like you want to go get like food, you want to go to the gym,
Damn.
like yo, look at this, look at that, like we got internet, like shit's crazy, like you know what I mean? And it's like
Wow.
I pretty much like, yo guys, I don't feel the best, I'm gonna lay down.
Yeah.
And I just laid down,
That's been there.
heart racing, just stared at the fucking wall for a while, bro, just like, oh my god, go, like yeah, and I waited for a while, just like laying down in bed, just because I felt so anxious, heart racing, and it was one of those like, oh, everybody knows I'm this stoned.
Yeah.
Oh, like everybody's
boy.
gonna find out. This is a big deal.
Oh, boy.
You know
Is
what I
that
mean?
like 5th time you've been
Yeah.
stoned, 6th time? That was like earlier, right? In the teens?
I probably had been smoking for a year by then.
Got you.
Been smoking for a year, but like on and off. So it's like it's still new.
Yeah.
It's
right.
still like very new.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was a wild experience. But I ended up staying, like after smoking, I stayed up for like, it was probably like 40 hours or something like that.
What?
Yeah.
For what?
Dude, I don't know.
You
I
were
just,
just
dude, I
paranoid?
fucking, we smoked. I got paranoid, laid in bed for a while, and then it was just like, got back to routine life. Like, took a shower, we got food, went and worked out.
See,
Like,
that's what's crazy about
and it just
cannabis,
I don't know, it just fucking
Wow.
kept the engine going, you know?
Did they have a
It
name
is-
for this strain at all or anything? Did anyone say anything?
Oh,
They
dude,
just
no,
grabbed
no,
it?
you have no
They
idea.
just grabbed
It's,
it.
dude, it's
Crazy.
you're in a different
Yeah.
country. It's off the streets, dog. Like,
Crazy.
you're pulling it off the plant. It's
Dang.
like their
Middle of the
agriculture system
mountains.
in the middle of nowhere. No one speaks English.
You
Like,
hear that guy's no middleman. Straight from
yeah,
him to the
I got
farm.
plugged by freaking a home
Mother
dude
Earth.
in Afghanistan. Don't know his name, but you're out there. Shout out, big shout out.
to you, dog.
You're doing God's work.
Literally.
Thank you.
Literally.
Thank you for the craziest high.
Hey, do you feel like the flower was wilder than the hashish?
I would say it was crazier to see flower like that because
Yeah.
I didn't really know what a grow was or really anything like that, right? Like I knew what plants looked like and growing, but like I didn't like have a homie like look at my grow, or like people that were in like they like you definitely don't grow. You know what I mean? And so it was the first time seeing like big fields of cannabis.
Picture fucking Wes.
And so I think that was way crazier than like hashish. And like I didn't even fathom or wrap my head around what like it was, what they were doing until like years later. Of like, oh damn, like that's what it was. That was what they were doing.
Right.
And like, dude, like the smell, like it had some smell, but like the flower was definitely more potent.
Really?
In my opinion, yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's why a
Interesting.
big part of their culture and like European culture is like, you put it in tobacco and like you can't really tell. It doesn't have a
And
lot
then
of
hashish
smell.
is older usually too. They keep
Yeah.
that shit for a long time.
Like, and who knows what they did? Cured, freaking
That flower was fresh.
aged. You know, they already aged it 5 years. They're just smoking 5-year aged hash on deck. You know what I mean?
Right.
The rest of their lives. Like, I mean, who knows what they're doing out there?
All right. Well, since
But-
that was further down the road, what was the first time you smoked weed?
We did that.
We said.
Mhm.
All right. Well, that was back
That
there
was the
too.
first episode. Yeah,
No, we
first
did that. That
episode.
was
okay.
the first episode.
Gotcha. Thank you guys for remembering, because I'm.
No, you're
Yo, we
good.
fucking stoned out here. That
But
fucking
that
Mac
intense, but that's
with
crazy.
the
I'm appreciative.
what?
We could sum
the
it
Mac
up.
and
The
then what
Mac
was
with
your
the-
pod?
with
What
the
was
Mac.
your
Some
pod?
Chunkadelic with some golden ticket.
Golden ticket.
You know what I mean? It was a
Yeah,
summary
we're
of all.
vaping today,
We're
boys.
vaping hard,
Yeah.
concentrating hard today.
Yeah.
Hey.
It was awesome to hear the summary of what Wes had to say, man. From the beginning of his first smoke, yeah, to advocacy,
Hell yeah.
his military background,
Just some light work.
athleticism, you know what I mean? Touch on all those topics. His advocacy for home grow, favorite genetics, man, and the questions. If you guys please bring in more questions.
I got one more question
Yeah.
for you though. So when your child becomes of age, or what time do you want to start introducing cannabis? Like, even if he's like growing with you and like watching you work with the plant, like, is there a specific age or time frame that you want to wait, or would you like to
Yeah.
integrate it as soon as possible? Where
I mean, this is like big touchy subject, right? I mean, kids around the plant and stuff like that, but big part of it is where the laws are. Without a home grow and stuff like that, I mean, he won't be around it for like a lot longer. Just being honest, you know, because
Yeah.
the only things that he would see are forms of consumption, not anything else. And so it's not that like I wouldn't hit a pod or like something while he's around, or like if we're outside, you know what I mean?
I see.
Like
I
he
see
would
it.
be around it in a sense, but like a lot less. But if home grow was a thing, like for sure, like he'd be around it a lot like
Yeah.
younger. But
Right.
there definitely is an age to. Like I don't know what it is. You know, I'm a first time dad, so like I couldn't give you an age.
I
But
like that.
definitely just the understanding of like this is for me, you know, like for medical use in a sense, and that like it's okay, like it's not a big deal. It's just another plant, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And like at home grow, like it would just be with everything else. Like we would go,
tomatoes.
you know,
Exactly.
me and my wife have usually done a garden every year, so it's like we'd go garden,
He
you know,
wouldn't
go
think
water the
anything out,
tomatoes,
like-
the other plant, right? And so
See, and that's the thing that like I really want to start advocating for as well.
No.
Is you can be a first grader and they'll give you Adderall if you have ADHD. They have no problem giving you all these chemical compositions for different medicinal application, right? So, in my opinion, I really, when I become a father, if my kid needs cannabis or there is a way that I can influence like sublingual or subdermal applications for them to use for like a small tincture before they go to school to help them get through their day, you know what I mean?
That's-
Because they struggle
yeah, that's-
extremely with depression, because I'd rather them take that than Xanax,
Yeah.
you know? Like, it's a real thing, you know? And people
it is.
forget that stigmatism of like, there are other forms of consumption. You don't have to smoke cannabis.
And other cannabinoids other than THC that
Yeah.
have so many other
Benefits.
benefits.
Yeah,
It's like
huge
your kid
benefits.
doesn't have to be high,
Yeah,
but they could be feeling these benefits from cannabis.
yeah, for sure. for sure. And that's one thing that I'm happy that you're aware and like willing to at least like educate your young ones on the way
Yeah.
that you live your life,
Yeah,
And
I mean
not
that's
hide
that's
it.
what it is, having a kid, and for somebody here that's soon to be,
100%.
he's gonna
Jake.
have a baby soon. Seb's gonna have a baby soon.
Shout out Sid.
Father
Shout out
said.
Seb.
Father said. Like, I mean, they just learn from you, and so a lot of what I learned growing up and everything was like false,
Yeah.
And it is
Me
like
too. Me
I've
too.
had to break a big
Yeah.
stigma, like for myself, for my wife. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know what I mean, for like my family, her family. Like it's been a whole process, and so I don't want my kid to have to like even have that stigma, right? Like
Hell yeah.
that's the goal,
Yeah.
is-
Oh yeah.
It doesn't necessarily need to be that he's like a huge advocate, like crazy about it, in the industry working,
Right.
helping me like do more than just growing. Like it's not necessarily that, but it's just like the knowledge to know that it is okay. It helps a lot of people. It's a better form and a better outlet than most things that people have access to.
Like, oh, Dad's got
And
his
then just-
herbs
you know
in,
what I
the,
mean?
in the garage,
Yeah. And
like,
just
you want
you gotta
control
like
it.
respect the plant,
Yeah.
And so that's all it is, and it's not having to go through like different DARE programs or whatever it is that's taught,
Yeah, for sure.
Like, and that's part of what it is to pass down your knowledge as a parent,
100%.
And that's like one of many things that you're forced to, because you're raising a whole ass human. So it's not
Like-
just cannabis and like when to get them around it, how to be active with it, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. It's also way more. For me, it's like volleyball, getting him around volleyball too. My wife trying to get him on like walks every day, outside. Go
Culture
to
and
the park.
community, man.
You know what I mean? Go see friends. Like, it's a lot. I mean, they're little versions of you. So
Right.
So wild.
100%. They are little versions of you. That's awesome. Grateful for having Wes on the show, man. Being part of the UCC, having the guys ask questions, man.
Yeah, appreciate
Yeah,
It's
anybody.
awesome.
Appreciate you, man. You're the big dog, Wes.
oh hell yeah.
What's your favorite strain? I don't know if you already said that, but just to leave it off. I know you said
Utah
Ashley,
strain.
That's what you wanted.
Utah strain. Favorite
like,
Utah strain.
Yeah.
I don't even know Utah strains.
Yeah, favorite strain.
Just the ones
Canyon
floating around the
Rim.
market.
Right now that you've had.
Lava
Dude, all I can think of is one that I really want to try,
Uh-huh.
and it's Northern Lights.
Ooh.
I've
Yeah.
never had any good Northern Lights.
Okay.
You heard it. If you have,
Okay.
if you
So
were
I would say
some good northern,
yeah,
like
that's what came to mind. So yeah, if
ship it to
That's your dream strain, not your favorite
P.O.
strain.
box.
Utah.
I know, but
Number-
I don't know what my favorite strain in Utah is.
Hey, that's alright.
For what, flower?
Yeah.
For flower? Maybe, I don't know. Nothing's been like killing.
Okay, I gotta do
See?
one. What's your favorite form of consumption?
Favorite form of right now it's dabs, bro.
Damn.
Boom, boom,
Hop
boom,
on
boom,
that.
boom.
Even on that
Okay.
concentrate game.
Concentrate.
Dry dabs, dude.
Yeah. Dry dabs?
You a
In a
monster?
joint. In a joint.
Oh no, yeah, we freaking in a banger.
All right. All right.
Bring out the
Nice.
blowtorch.
Hell yeah.
We fucking, yeah. That's been
Got you.
the start to some of my days.
Those
Tune
are
into
some
the
good days,
Instagram, you'll
dude.
see me out there. You'll see me taking the freaking
UCC
morning
Instagram, Mornings with Wes.
morning freaking bong rips.
Sorry, he tried to get me.
Yeah, you falling asleep over there?
No. I was scratching my eye real quick.
He's about to cry, dude. I got him back.
What's the like biggest piece you smoked out of? Like biggest bong or pipe or joint?
Biggest bong. It was probably like a 3-foot bong.
Damn,
Like
that's pretty
3-foot,
big,
like,
dude.
glass bong.
3 fucking feet. 3 feet. Did you have somebody else light
It was
it?
about 3 feet.
Yeah. Yeah, I had somebody else light it.
You didn't light it with your toes, dude?
And we
Seen
fucking
that
did, we
shit?
did snap throughs too.
Snapper rappers.
Snappers out of the
Snappers.
3-footer.
So I mean, it wasn't like full bowls, but like you're up there.
Did you hear?
struggling.
Did
You're up
you
there
hear what he
struggling.
said? What he did, dude? He wraps the hemp wick around his big toe, and then he lights it, and then
What?
Yeah,
Wait, what?
For real?
100%.
What the fuck? Don't
no, he
fuck-
said somebody lights it for him. I was joking.
I was like, that
Yo, we
went
fucking with
straight
you.
over my head, dude.
You're fucking with you, dude.
Oh,
This is off the mic now.
thanks for coming.
Cepeloni, you gotta do the outro, dog.
Hey guys, what's up? It's UCC in the house. We appreciate you guys for tuning in today. We had Wes on the show. Killer fucking friend, advocate,
Facts.
guest, part of the UCC fam. Yeah, I was grateful to have him on the show, man. It was really dope. Wes, you had any last words you want to say for the people out there, man?
Nah, just stay tuned in. Stay on the
Hey.
Instagram. It's an honor to present a story, my story, kind of my background with everything, kind of where I want to go, what I want to do a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Shout out to the local heroes, man, for real. It's all about the locals in the community. That's how we keep it alive, supporting others that are doing things. If you know things, like, keep the conversation alive, having guys like Wes outreach, to different parts. It's awesome, you know what I mean? So, hell yeah.
Thanks. Well, appreciate y'all for listening. Tune in next time. Peace out.
Gang,
Bye.
this is Seth.
This is JJ,
This is Gabe.
this is Wes.
Gang.
and we out. This is the
We out.
UCC podcast.
UCC, baby. Chee.
Bah, bah.
Whoa, boom, clap.